What's good? Welcome in. You're watching NBA Now by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Hope all of your weeks are going in a fantastic fashion. On today's show, another great one for you. We're going to take a look at 5 NBA free agency sleepers, players who are ascending yet still slept on, at least nationally in the national landscape. I want to start off with Anfernee Simons because I think a lot of people don't realize how good of a player he is. Now, yes, he's a restricted free agent. There are reports out there that Portland wants to retain him and give him a salary which would pay him on an average annual value basis around $20 million per. But if he hits the free agency market, considering his age, considering the growth that we've seen and how he played after the Damian Lillard injury, people will be willing to pay him big time money because he's a valuable asset right now for all the reasons that I just talked about. And you look at the numbers that he put up after Lillard went down with that core muscle injury. 27 games played before he suffered an injury of his own. Expected to make a full recovery. No biggie there. These numbers are legit. 23 points per game as he was kind of a walking bucket. He's shifty. He has that wiggle, has that burst in athleticism to get to the cup. He was dishing out nearly 6 assists per night. He connected on nearly 46% of his shots, 42% from beyond the arc. And for Simons, he's a fast emerging player who I think it would be a smart move and a wise move for Portland to bring him back to build that young core. I'm not sure that he is going to be a number 2 on a team that can make a deep playoff run or a number 3. But if he's your spark plug coming in off the bench, giving you about 18, 20 points per game at that age, and you have to consider that he's going to continue to get better, one of the best young guards in the NBA today. How good do you think that Anfernee Simons is? I know a lot of you play NBA 2K, so that's why I ask you this question. Scale him on a scale from 1 to 100. He's got to be in the 80 range for me, considering the jump that we saw from 2 years ago to this past year. Another NBA free agent sleeper, Tyus Jones. He was overshadowed because of the near MVP caliber season that Ja Morant had last year. But you have to remember that Morant missed a lot of games with lower body injuries, and in his place, it was Jones running the show at that point guard position. These are his numbers as a starter. And a team out there might look at Tyus Jones as an analytical darling, as a guy who's tapping in to his untapped potential, a guy who coming out of Duke didn't really live up to those lofty praises and expectations of being a first-round pick, but he's rounding into form right now. And if you give him more minutes, can he give you these types of numbers? 23 starts last year, which is a pretty good sample size. He put up nearly 13 points per game, 45% from the field. And he was pretty good from beyond the arc as well. The big question with Tyus Jones and teams that are thinking about paying him, I can guarantee you they're having these conversations within their facility. Is Tyus Jones a starting point guard, or is he better suited as a backup point guard who can be a spot starter from time to time? Because you don't really want him paying off ball, and will a team overpay him to be that starter, betting on some of his upside and continued improvements? We will see what happens with Tyus Jones. But for now, let me cook up this question for you. If you had to pick one to build your roster with, it's not a superstar player who you're going to start your franchise with, but you're building your roster with either Anfernee Simons, type AS, Tyus Jones, type TJ. Let me know in the comment section right now, teacher. TJ Warren, an unrestricted free agent, just like Tyus Jones. And we haven't heard from TJ Warren in a little while because he's been hurt, missed all of last year because of that foot injury, and really the last time we had an opportunity to watch him ball out, he was balling out, getting buckets in the NBA bubble. His numbers from 2017 to 2021, it fits the profile for a team needing a spark plug scoring option. That's what Warren can be. He was paid a lot of money on his previous contract, ranging between $18 and $20 million. I think it's crazy if he gets that, but if you can get him on a mid-level exception, which you could, this could be huge bang for your buck, especially for a team like the Sixers or the Boston Celtics. 19 points per game is a large example of what he was able to do for a really long time on 15 field goal attempts per night, don't mind me, and then 37% from his three-point attempts. A cheap deal for a contending team. This could be excellent value, and I think a lot of people, because he didn't play last year, are sleeping on the fact that TJ Warren can come, help a title team, average between, let's say, 13 and 16 points per game, and even though he might not be the same player he was before the foot injury, can he get back to close to that form? And if that's the case, my goodness, could be a very good value deal for a team that does sign him. Who is the most slept on NBA free agent? We're talking about a couple on today's show, 5 to be exact. We already talked about a few. Let me know the most slept on in your eyes right now in the comment section. We will be live on YouTube as well, right here on Rumble, for the start of NBA free agency and live for the days following day number 1 of free agency, talking about every single move that takes place, all of the best news and rumors, trades that happen as well. Make sure you hit that green follow button here on Rumble to stay in the know. It's rumble.com/NBA now. 2 sleepers to get to. Mo Bamba. He is officially going to be an unrestricted free agent, and there are going to be teams that are going to look to sign him as a guy who can play a little small ball 5 or play some 4 for you as well. I thought this past year was the best of his career. When he was coming out of the college ranks at Texas, people looked at Mo Bamba and they're like, this guy, ridiculous athletic profile, and that was true. But his game was so raw, and I thought last year everything kind of came into form to a certain degree. 10.5 points per game, 8 boards, shot about 48% from the floor, and because of his pogo sticks and his jumping ability, he'll give you nearly 2 blocks per game. Also, his shooting splits last year, pretty solid. And he had a couple of 30-point burgers, 9 field goal attempts about, 4 3-point attempts, so he can camp out in the corner, knock down some threes from beyond the arc, and he was able to connect on about 38% of his shots from long range, 78% from the free throw line. So he's not a big who's a liability from the charity stripe. A lot of people have expected him to be much more as a former first-round pick, but I think he can be a spot starter. Better yet, a guy coming off the bench, a great depth piece. And if the development continues, look out for Mo Bamba. Yes, the song is great. Yes, the song was a banger, but this guy as a player has all of the ability to become really good. And this is another one of the guys who I have filed under the sleeper category because you pay a Tyus Jones, a TJ Warren, a Mo Bamba, the other players on this list, you're paying them an affordable rate and you're hoping that you can maximize their value so that you get really good bang for your buck. And athletic bigs nowadays becoming more and more valuable by the day. I don't want bigs any longer who can't shoot and camp out on the low block because they get carved up on switches, carved up on the pick and roll, and they can't stretch the floor offensively. Mo Bamba is the antithesis to that. Spam Mo in the comment section right now. Why? Because we're talking about Mo Bamba, and spamming Mo is fun. Mo money, Mo problems? Yeah, the real ones know. Spam Mo in the comment section. Last NBA free agent sleeper, Gary Harris. So he signed that huge deal with the Denver Nuggets, and he was getting paid around $20 million per year. That's criminal. He does not deserve to get paid $20 million per year, but that was the going rate at the time when these contracts were stupid. Gary Harris now, he's not going to get that bag. But he could get a nice little sizable bag, and he could be a solid starter or a scorer off the bench. And last year, you look at the numbers here, 11 points per, 43% from the field, 38% from long range, and about a steal per game. I liked him a lot coming out of Michigan State. I frankly thought that he was going to be a lot better, so too did the Denver Nuggets, and that's why they gave him that big contract. Is Gary Harris worth $20 million per year in nowadays NBA? No. He is a solid rotational guard who can score it, play a little defense. But these are the types of players that can move the needle for you and really help you throughout the rigors of an 82-game regular season schedule and in the playoffs. Like if you're looking for players who you can pay an affordable contract to, who can give you 10 to 15 points per game and occasionally start games for you, occasionally pop off for 20 points on any given night, and then in a playoff series, he's totally playable, that is what Gary Harris fits under. So is he worth $20 million? No, but is he a good, solid player? No question about it. I think he's a sleeper, and I don't think a lot of people are talking enough about him. So the best NBA free agent is who? A lot of big names on this free agency class. Drop me a name in the comment section right now and fill in the blank for me. And as always, make sure you subscribe and follow us, and thanks for watching NBA Now by Chat Sports.